So, back. Let's get out of this place and do something else. We will bump into Value's Tower eventually, but for the time being, we can head east to Neverwinter Road. We can head north to North Griffin Road. I was about to say North Road Griffin, Green Griffin Inn and Luskin, or of course the South Road and Charwood. But we have someone in distress. Someone wanting us to rescue his mother, who's been knit-capped by some baddies. See if I can. I'm going to do one last check to see if I can find that NPC. She's not going to be relevant until much later. Okay, you know what? Forget it. It's just not. I'm very sure she should be around the barracks, but maybe I'm just mistaken. On that account, maybe around the inn. Maybe she's just got stuck somewhere. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We shall head north. He was imagining. I'll probably bump into her eventually. As I was making a note of in the previous part, in the notes for the episode. The reason I find her remotely interesting is the fact that there's a quest related to her, and I would like to get a before and after reaction from her. Anyway, girl.
Hello there.
Girl, your son mentioned you. What kind of help do you need? What's this about your wife? Okie dokie. Who's this Dergia? Why would Logan stop patrolling? Perhaps I could help, because of course we're nice people. There's been other adventures. I'll look into it as soon as I can. I'd be grateful for it. Find my wife or bring me proof of what happened to her. And Dergiap's head, if you can. Either would be a great service. So, Dergiap is a ogre mage thing, if I'm not mistaken. I'm fairly sure that's what thingy says. Oh, just the head of the humanoid tribes. I'm fairly sure it's an ogre mage kind of thing. And he will be in one of the caves, and there's a bunch of caves around here, and this is what I was referring to in the update sort of thing for this video series, because we are going to hammer through a handful of caves filled to the brim with orcs, ogres, and all sorts of, not so much ogres early on, but all sorts of random misfits that we'll have to flatten, and it is most likely excessively boring watching me kill 200 orcs. And I'm not kidding you, we are talking a bunch of orcs and similar enemies that just could be trapped. That's a quick shave, just, you know. It's locked at least. It is not locked anymore, by the way. 111 gold pieces, not too bad. But let's scout around a bit. I might say sort of considering whether I should keep the fighting of the random scrap. I hate to call it scrap because it's not very nice to call any individual scrap, I suppose. But for the gameplay purpose, they are. Sort of thinking of whether I should leave it in or just speed it up and not be talking during the time so I don't sound more like a mouse than I already do. But what have we got here? The Port Last Mine has been closed for many years ever since okie dokie. We have no need or use of this area any time soon. It is a story relevant area, but it is of no importance right now. Some Isoros, you know what, they are vendorable, I think it's called. If it's not called that, it is called that now. I've just invented a new word. Very likely not. I'm probably just being stupid. I wouldn't be a first. Anyway, getting the area uncovered is always nice. So, was the mines anything of interest in these crates? A locked crate. How dare you? You know that's not a crate. Okay. Oh, gauntlets. Gloves of the minstrel. Perform. Hooray! It is not a skill we have any use of, because if you're not a bard, you cannot learn perform. There's a handful of skills that you can only learn if you belong to certain classes. One of them is animal empathy, which is only rangers, and of course perform, which is only bards. Use magical device, I think I called it magic item. Just a random cut because I start talking about things that I may have mentioned before, and I felt that was unnecessary. If I haven't mentioned it before, I will probably get around to mentioning it at some point or another. You know what, let's just to make absolutely sure. This skill called, if I can remember it. Skills. Nope, it's not listing user. No, it is not. So I assume a use a magical device, I think it's called, is not available for. It's only available for certain classes, likely. But if I have mentioned that skill before, I do apologize. But if I haven't, it's probably for the better I get it done. There's a bear. Bears are bad news. Strong. How do I get up to it? Intriguing. How do I get up to that bear? It looks like I don't. It's a polar bear. You know what? Let's be rude and just use our advanced attacks, because of course we got a heavy crossbow and some bolts of lightning. So while I talk about oh, yeah, well, it's coming into you. Right. The skill use magical device or magical device, that's called. It basically allows a character to equip an item they cannot possibly equip by class restriction. Something like these robes, which are monk only, they will have a certain requirement for the level of skill required in use magic device. And if you bypass that skill, or have a higher rank in the skill than the item requires, then you can equip it anyway. Which I think, I understand that it gives a flavor of things to certain classes, but I also think it's, in my opinion, feel free to disagree, but I think it's a pathetic skill, because something like a Holy Avenger, Paladin only specific weapon, and it only works for a Paladin. Someone else can, for some bizarre reason, work out how to trick the deity bestowing the power to the Holy Avenger into believing that they are suddenly a Paladin. It doesn't make any sense. But whatever. I'm sure if I played a class and could make heavy use of that skill, I would probably love that skill and probably abuse it as well. So it's hard to dislike it fully, but I'm not a fan. I think that one of the reasons you want to play different classes is in order to get access to certain items and certain abilities that no other classes have available. And I think that is what gives a game like this replay value is, oh, I wish I was a rogue so I could do this, or I wish I was a sorcerer so I could do that, whatever. And I think that cross pollution of classes, which I consider to be, sort of ruins it. Then again, you can always argue, and I think that is a valid counterpoint, is that rogues, in many cases, haven't got an awful lot going for them. So giving them something special like that is probably justified. So let's just flatten some goblins and get these caves uncovered. There's another goblin, there's a goblin archer. You know what, let's just work our way up. No, let's kill these guys first. Because I'm a friendly person, I go around randomly. Didn't I say to a druid that I didn't want to fight animals? How quickly one forgets, eh? Come on. Fighting a boar, by the way. For real. I wouldn't want to get anywhere near one. If you had the unfortunate honor of seeing the damage a boar can do to... No, not pleasant. Not pleasant at all. It wasn't something I was seeking out to discover, by the way. It was a program I was watching years ago. And randomly they showed someone being entangled with a boar, and suffice to say, one of his legs didn't look particularly nice after that experience. So, one of those incidents where you would wish that any narrator or commentator or whatever you call them would be kind enough to say, we are having images coming up that may not be very pleasant to look at. So, and you got no such warning. So, yeah. Anyway, being shot at by a stupid goblin. It's goblin lead. Ha! Lovely. Goblin archer. The archers, I don't know whether they ignore your dexterity or something, but they seem to have a lot better chance at hitting you than melee characters. So, yeah, well, I suppose. Let's go into the cave we got. What's outside the cave usually indicates what could be inside the cave. So, the fact that we have goblins out here, because they're just listed as being caves. So, let us head in and see what we bump into. Bugbear caverns, not the one I wanted to, but you know what, now we're here, let's just quickly flatten these guys. I'm just trying to get to the goblin caves first, so that way I have to, you know what, if they drop in a loot, the game will not remove the loot. It will not, well, it probably will disappear after a long playtime, but I have not, I cannot remember having seen it disappear, so I'm not too concerned about any loot being lost. But anyway, as I was trying to say, there's, I think it's 3 caves, 3 level of caves, and I want to make sure that I go from the top down. It's a locked crate. How dare you? So if anything randomly pops up, I'm going to, you know, I think I'm going to target the idea of just speeding up instead. Just being quiet, and then in case something important pops up, then showcase it. So in that way, if you can always just skip it yourself. So it makes it easier for me to have a consistency in the videos. So the speed up time. So, slowing down a bit here because I will just be looting these areas here. Then I'll have to call it a video. I'll call it a part, I think it's called. Oh, potion of endurance. There was something I was going to say. Yeah, will only be one part of today, so I can get back to having an even number of parts, so that tomorrow we'll get a double part, or 2 parts if you want a double part, whatever. Words, words are challenging and difficult and all that stuff. It's just to get an even number, so instead of doing 35, 36, 30, 34, 35, no, yeah, what I meant to do, what I meant to say was, because yeah, talking is hard. Instead of doing, I've been good. Instead of doing 36, try again, 35, 36, so you start with an odd number. I'm just going to be doing this one part, and then when we come back, we're going to clear the rest of the caves. There will be quite a few, and of course we have this lady we are looking for, which may or may not be alive. We'll have to discover for ourselves. The reason I've reconsidered how to handle the videos yet again is because when I watch someone else play a game like this, and you watch one episode and the next episode they are somewhere completely different and they have equipment you've never seen them gain or bought or anything, and this is just doing some housekeeping, and that's fair enough that people are concerned about it, but I would rather have the option to choose whether I skip it myself or not, and that's why I decided, all things considered, just leave the pointless fighting in, but just speed it up. So people, if it bothers them, they can just skip it themselves. But in next chunk, we are going to clear the rest of the caves and see what we can find out.